All right, YouTube. One, I discovered that I can use my phone's flash and record at the same time. Wow, that's crazy. Um, and two, this is the continuation of parts 1 and 2, and now we're on parts 3. So this part is going to show you how to install the emergency brake cable, which is back here, this line here. And I'm going to finish up the continuation. Sorry, 1 second. I need to clean that off before I put my brakes on. That seems to be a little oil. You don't want that on your brake caliper, on your rotor. You won't be able to stop. Anyway, I'm going to finish up my talk about what I did to change the brake hose, because in I think it was episode or part 2, I had the line stretching over here to the caliper, and I wasn't able to put on the brakes and the calipers together because it was putting tension on this line, on this brake line, brake hose. So what I did is I went on to Rock Auto and I bought the 2005 version for this car. I think it was the ZX4 ST version. So this hose, and I kept the 2002 hose that I bought previously, and I just replaced, basically I did a replacement of the brake hose that was here on the 2005 version. I just added this extension to eliminate the tension on the line when I put the calipers on. So an update, my calipers actually were seized that I got from the junkyard, so I actually had to send them. I'm getting the new calipers tomorrow, and I'm always getting everything tomorrow, but the new calipers will be here tomorrow so that I can actually brake, because I wasn't able to brake after part 2, and I will be able to put everything back together and drive. But you're seeing this after the fact that I'm already driving the car. So I just wanted to be a little transparent with you, let you know I did run into an issue, and it was that the calipers actually were stuck and they were seized, and that is no bueno when you're trying to brake. I have already gone back and bled the brakes, got in the car, stepped on the pedal, bled the brakes. You want to make sure you do that if you're doing any of this type of work. Bleed your systems, step on the pedal. If it doesn't get hard, you got air in your system, and you need to put that car in park and jack it up and get the air out of your brakes, or you won't be able to stop. Anyway, let's get going, showing you how we changed the, how I changed the brake cable, the emergency brake cable, throughout the bottom of the car without having to take anything out in the cabin. Stay tuned. All right, YouTube. So I'm up under the car right now, and I'm just kind of taking a look at what I have. This is the old emergency brake cable. I'm on the driver's side right now, but I'll show you everything once I get over to the passenger side. Just kind of like learning as I go right now. So it looks like there is a 7mm bolt where this fits through into this hole. And this is for the old one, so obviously we're not going to use it, but it would fit through that hole like that. And there'd be a screw, if it did a hole like this, and there'll be a screw on the other side, which we would tie in, but we're no longer, this is getting deleted. So I'm going back here. I like to jack up the car some more. It's not high enough. Kind of a tight fit right now. Let's see, that bolt right there is another one we got to get off, and this line runs around all the way up there, and I got to take off the heat shield to get to the emergency brake cable under there. So the emergency brake cable is gonna run right in here. It's gonna run right in here. If you lift this up, you'll have access to all the to the floorboard up there. And sorry, my light, I'm trying to figure it out. You gotta get access into this right here, and it'll take you up into where we need to be to get this thing swapped out. And there goes the right side. You can see, change my camera here and my light view. So there goes the right side bolts, and we'll take those off here shortly. Yeah, it's not a bad job. Just gotta have the right parts and, you know, willingness to complete it. Stay tuned. All right, YouTube. So up under here, I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble the parking brake. So these bolts right here, let me focus it in on you. So these bolts right here are 10mm bolts. I'm gonna take those off, and this is the passenger side. So you just want to follow this line. This line goes all the way back to the rear brake, disc brake caliper. It actually stopped right here, like that. And of course, there's when you take the tire off, there will be a 7mm bolt on the other side, and I'll verify that. But right here, this line runs up and around. Back there is a clip. So we're gonna just pull this clip out. Just push it and it should pop out like so. Then there's another clip. There's another clip back here. Let me adjust the light again. See that clip right there? That clip right there. You want to get that one too. So I'm gonna try to get in here and push down the white. It's like a little white lever. I'm gonna push down to that where my finger is. Let me zoom in for you. All right, let's see. Nice little camera work here. Can it focus? Focus. All right. Let me pull another light. All right, so I pulled another light. That's much better. All right, so this clip right here, you want to get your thumb on there. Just pull that, and with the other hand, you just want to pull on the cable. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and do that. Since I'm left-handed, I have to put the camera down. So when I do it, I cut you back on. And in case you may be wondering, this thing here, this is your fuel filter. I changed mine about 2 or 3 months ago. They suggest you change these out X amount of miles in your Ford manual. I think it was like every 50,000 miles or so. But your fuel filter is right here. And it is, I would say, it's not difficult to get to. It's just a pain in the butt to change. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and take this bolt off for the passenger side e-brake. I'm going to leave the screws where they are just in case I want to put them back in. And this thing is held in by a plastic clip. So just pry back and forward very carefully, because we may want to reuse again. We may want to reuse these again, and we may not. So, light over there. So yeah, that little squares where that will go into, but I don't think we're going to be reusing those. But we'll see. And then, like I said, to get the rest of it off, we have to get the tire off in order to get these off. But now we are free to start taking out the heat shield and getting into the cabin to remove the old brake cable. Stay tuned. Okay, so on the 2005 Ford Focus Edition, you have these bolts. On the older models, they're like these little rivet things. Not rivets, but they're like little, they're weird, oddly shaped aluminum like washers, basically. And they're really a pain to get off. But these, thankfully, on the 2005 version, these 10mm bolts here are what's holding up the heat shield. So getting to the cabin, it's much easier on the 2005 version. Thank you for realizing it was a pain to get off those old style bolts that you used on your heat shield. So yeah, there's one here we want to get out. There's one. Let me get my light over here. There's one here you want to get out. So here is one on the driver's side, one on the passenger side, and if you care, you can get this one way back here. There's one right there on the passenger side, and vice versa on the driver's side. You can take those two and you can shimmy this piece of heat shield out the way, and you should be right here where we need to be. All right, let's get to it. Hello, YouTube. All right, so I'm working on shimmying out the heat shield right now, and it's on these little studs. You got to get it around and out of the way. Take your time, be careful, and you won't have any issues. Just like so. All right, this is what we came for right here. So I'm gonna go get the new emergency brake cable, and we're gonna get this bad boy hooked up. Good stuff. Show you how to do it. Stay tuned. All right, YouTube, so I got the replacement emergency brake cable with the disc brake conversion, and here's the old one. So what you want to do is just shiznit it. Let me get my light again. Put it way back here, out of the way. Sandwich between. So what you want to do is disconnect the lines. There should be a way to pull this around. So you want to push it out. I'm going to have to do it with both hands. So you want to pull this cable through that head, and this part will be able to be removed. Then you want to come over here, and there are little pins on, let's see, get over here. The little pins on both sides of these plastic pieces, like here and here. You want to push those in so that the cables can slide out. So this cable here and this cable here can slide out. Otherwise, you're gonna have some trouble. And sorry about the focus. So let's do that, and I'll show you what it looks like when they're off. All right, YouTube, so once you maneuver it enough and you move some of these cables around, like I moved the driver's side cable around, I was able to get out this top piece. And now I'm gonna go ahead and assemble the new emergency brake cable and run those lines where they need to go, and start on the passenger side to show you how everything works. All right. Sit tight, stay tuned, and hope you're learning something. Now working on getting the fittings back into place where they were beforehand. So here's the left side. If my camera
or if my light doesn't get knocked out, I'm gonna put this one back in the spot that it came out of before. I think you just push it through. And there goes my light. So I just pushed it through into place. Let's put it back up here. I just pushed this part through into place through the backside. Pushed it forward and it snapped in. So let me see if I can do this one for you. Take it, line it up with the hole, and just push it in place. Let me use two hands, so once I get it, I'll cut you back on. All right, YouTube, so it's a tight fit up under here. Just be wary of that. It's a tight fit, so I got my lines on in here. Up to I didn't even have to mess with the top. I did take it apart, but I mean I took the center console out, but I didn't even have to. I could do everything from underneath. I got those two pieces, and let it even in focus. Well, I got these two pieces here lined up, and right now I'm tracing my lines for putting things back. Tracing my lines again to clamp the passenger side emergency brake cable in place, and we'll move along. This is probably the hardest part of the whole thing, is getting this cable to go back and slide through where it needs to be in place without, you definitely don't want to break things in here, so you just want to be careful. It pops back in place like that, and there we go. And I believe this little one goes over here. That's gonna slide down. The cable slides down more, but this one goes in here. And this cable goes all the way down there, or back there. All right, so let's go work on getting the driver's side calipers on. I'm gonna put back the heat shield and everything here, and we'll be done with this part of the car. All right, stay tuned. All right, YouTube, so here I'm back at it again today. I got the new calipers. I'm about to install these bad boys, and I'm working on taking off this old caliper and put on the new ones so that everything's fresh. So just, sit back, relax, and enjoy the final part of this whole process, the fun part. Now I just gotta find the new one. When I put it, oh, it's over here. Okay. I got everything pushed on. Nope. You gotta make sure your boots, so the boots are, you wanna make sure that's over that little lip. Just like so on both sides. And let me show you the difference. So here's the old one. And here's the new one. All right, so these had blue Loctite on them. So I'm going to, let's hit that focus. You really don't need to see the focus, but I'm gonna put blue Loctite back on these just so it will help with the
the vibration, if the car vibrates, it won't undo the bolts in the caliper, or the bracket will fall off, and you know what that means, no brakes. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and put on the new caliper. I'm gonna go ahead and put on the new bracket, and I'll turn you back on once that's on. You don't need to see that, me do that. And we'll move on to putting on the caliper. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, so we got the bracket on, as you can tell. Now we're about to go ahead and hit it with a little bit of copper anti-seize, just a little bit on the fronts. And be careful not to get any on that rotor. If you get any on the rotor, you need to remove it. Take it off, otherwise you won't be able to stop. I can't stress that enough. Just like so for that. All right, let's install the brakes. Snaps in just like that. All right, so for this part, we need to take out this plug here. I might be able to do it with my fingers, I might not. Oh yeah, come on. I'm gonna get a pair of needle nose pliers. Pair of needle nose pliers and get in there, or I think you can just let me get this off when I turn you back on. Okay, so that thing was crazy hard to get out. Anyway, let's see. This needs to sit like this. So we got the right caliper for the right side. That's great. It'll sit on like that. Let me reposition my camera. All right. So let's install the brake line. And we just got to spin it on. Interestingly, the brake calipers and brackets didn't really change from 2002 to 2005. It's literally the same thing. Which is funny. Okay, that's on. Have to tighten it a little bit. Get that out of the way. Just put this into place. Goes on easy. That's great. So these have blue Loctite on them, and these is brand new, so I'm gonna use these. All right, and to tighten them, you might need a wrench, because this part right here will spin when you're trying to tighten the caliper bolt. Very cool. All right, so let's see. We got to get the emergency brake cable on. So I got to push it back so that I can get this through. I honestly should have put it on beforehand. So I'm gonna do that. Let me back up, put that on, and I'll turn you back on. All right, so I'm just finishing up putting the caliper on. And as you can tell in the back here, I have the emergency brake cable on, and it's ready to go. Tighten down my caliper bolts. And I'll show you that one-person bleeder I picked up from another YouTuber who I'm going to link in my description. Should you want to do that technique yourself, I recommend you check out his channel. It was pretty cool using a spray bottle. And just like that, that part is done.